After this video, you will know exactly how to counter Vikala's items. Without her cannon special, Vikala has 4 ways of tossing a random item. Granblue's fast can throw an item while she's on the ground or jumping with her unique action, aka Dream Come True, or press back and unique to throw it higher. The Vikala player is able to hold unique to delay the item toss and press an attack button to cancel it. They can see the random item, then cancel if it's a bad roll. The grounded version will be definitely out of range once you're 1.5 characters or Colosseum tiles away from her. And even if she super jumps, you won't get hit by a falling item when the distance is 2 tiles. Unless it's an item that rolls or bounces. And if Vikala gets hit while an item is on the screen, it will disappear. Without further ado, let's break down what our 8 items do. Starting off with the best pull from this gacha game. Star is the hardest one to deal with because it can bounce in a variety of ways. And it's hard to say how long it will stay on the screen. So you should expect Vikala to run behind it, or go for some cross-up shenanigans, where you could use the guard button, but it goes away after you block or get hit by it 2 times. And the good news is that even when you block it, you won't take chip damage. The simple answer is to think that Vikala is plus after blocking Star. For the complex answer, look in the pinned comment. Spiked Ball gets the silver medal because it rolls and goes under fireballs that aren't low to the ground, allowing Vikala to approach. It's at least plus 8 on block, but it doesn't do chip damage. Bomb after a toss doesn't hit you right away, but the explosion after 2 seconds can. It does chip damage and leaves Vikala ridiculously plus on block. The blast zone is 1 character away in either direction, it's active for 20 frames, and it has 1 projectile hit. Cannonball is pretty good. It's at least plus 6 on block with chip damage. Ball is basically a worse version of Cannonball that starts at minus 6 on block without chip damage. It starts becoming plus on block or hit after half a tile away, so it's actually your turn before that range. Smoke bomb after a toss doesn't hit you, instead it blocks the screen for a bit, allowing Vikala to launch a surprise attack. What's funny is that low graphics settings on granblue can make it useless by lowering the screen blocking. On higher settings, you could just fire off something active into the shroud. Heart only heals whoever picks it up, and it stays on the field for 3 seconds. Cheese is basically heart that gives meter instead. Now that you know what Vikala's items do, here are 6 options to counter this move. First off is invincibility. Vikala's item toss starts up in 20 frames or more as they try to react to the item. It has an easy to see animation with the thought bubble above Vikala in a thinking pose. At any range, you could react to it with something like a frame 1 invincible attack that reaches, even if they cancel, because the fastest cancel takes 35 total frames. And the fastest toss takes 46 total frames. And after any other normals, you're still able to react, because Vikala's normals don't allow her to cancel into an item without a gap. Parries or dodges aren't reliable options, because Vikala is able to delay or cancel tossing an item. You could also react to the item in the thought bubble and punish bad RNG. If you see an item that cannot hit you right away, that's your chance to go guns blazing and punish. Take your turn, or close the distance. Or at a distance, you could go for other options like ultimate specials. Once you're one character away, you have enough time to react with a fast ultimate fireball, teleport, or armored move. It's harder to time, but these moves can also counter the jumping version from full screen. Other projectiles with multiple hits could work as well. A heavy fireball will tear through most of Vikala's items that only have one projectile hit, but they're probably too slow to do on reaction. It's interesting that Smoke Bomb doesn't hit you normally, but it has one projectile hit against other projectiles. Star is abnormal because an ult fireball makes it go away, but it can bounce off of other types, so you would need 2 non-ultimate fireballs to make it disappear, unless your multi-hit projectile is slow enough to catch the rebound. Or you could just skip the projectile game and jump in to counter a zoner like Vikala. Just make sure to block until the last moment where you can press your jumping attack to hedge your bets against projectiles. Vikala actually has a harder time anti-airing than usual because she doesn't have a meterless, air unblockable special, and her crouching heavy doesn't reach that high. So take advantage of this weakness by mixing up your jumps between normal, super, and ones with trajectory changing jumping uniques. And speaking of jumping uniques, you could act like hers doesn't exist when anti-airing, because it's prone to missing, and it's possible for you to use a crouching heavy, recover, then use an invincible move, or run up and punish her. Vikala is stuck in recovery until a couple frames after she lands. She even has a jump that's 2 frames slower than normal. If you notice a jumping item toss at a distance, you could close the gap and get a combo on them as they're landing. The unreliability of raw item toss makes it not the best option without Vikala's cannon special. And part 2 of this video will be about just that and how it powers up these items. So subscribe to see that guide as soon as it comes out. I'm gonna be doing viewer match and coaching streams on Saturdays and randomly in the week. So follow Vund3r FGC on Twitch to level up your play. This video is brought to you by my Patreon members like Muscafal CH, Office Flirt,